So here's a thought still about Moses leading Israel into the land that God has promised them. And maybe this should have been the first one actually, but just take it. Welcome, good morning. So this is Deuteronomy 3:24 and beginning of verse 25. So Moses says, this is his prayer. O Lord, God, you have begun to show your servant, me, Moses, your greatness, your mighty hand. For what God is there in heaven or in earth that can do according to your works and according to your might? I pray you, let me go over. So this is Moses actually asking that, which we have been speaking about past few days. So Moses is asking God, let me go into the promised land. But notice the way he says it. He says, you have began to show your servant your greatness and your mighty hand. You have started this ark, and I would like to see this ark, reach its culmination, its end point. I would like to see reach the desired place. I want to get to the goal, and I love this heart in Moses. He had this heart. He wanted to see it. He wanted to see it accomplished. He wasn't just, I don't want to die yet, I want to go into the promised land. That was something that King Hezekiah was like, whom we spoke about, I think, yesterday morning. But Moses was different. Moses was saying, you have begun to show this to me. Please show me all the way through. I want to see the whole picture. I want to see the whole picture all the way through. And actually, we have been talking about this thought, but not mentioning Matthew 6:33, but seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. So that's what we have been talking about without mentioning the verse actually. Because Moses did this in his heart. He was seeking first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. He was seeking Israel and Israel's future, the promised land and the will of God for them, and God's righteousness. He was looking for this. And then in his heart, he was added all these things. He was having so much in his heart, and he wanted to see it all the way to the end. And actually God does answer that prayer. Not the way he would like. God says, no, you're not going in. But Moses had seen, of course, not in this life. That's the point that maybe I'm sure he didn't like. Not in this life, but he will see God's promises fulfilled, because God will accomplish his goodwill for Israel, for his people. In the Old Testament he had, and he has, and in the New Testament he is, and he will forever do so. There is no question about it. But here we see Moses embracing the promises. That's Hebrews 11. I think it was in verse 13, I think. Yeah, we also spoke about that. Here we see Moses embracing it. He says, you have begun to show, and I want to see it all the way through. What a great heart that is. If you have that heart, then you will remain in the will of God, in the promises, and you will see the promises of God come to fruition, because you will not quit, you will not easily give up, you will not leave the place of blessing, but you will stick with that. And this is how Moses had lived his life. So this is belated preamble, I think, this thought to these few thoughts that we have been speaking about, and what a great heart this is, to say, I will seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and the rest is up to God. That's an awesome attitude. So I wish for you and for me for that attitude, and God bless your day.